Hello, I am Aimee, and today I am so excited to talk about FamilySearch's new releases. On November 9th of 2022, FamilySearch added some new features to their person page. And I think some of these features are really cool, and I think they're going to make a difference in the FamilySearch tree. Now remember, the FamilySearch tree is a collaborative tree. So that means people are working together to build a tree, and people can change the tree. The only people that they can't change are living people within your tree. But sometimes because of that collaboration, sometimes people get frustrated because somebody's changed something that they don't want it to be changed, and you know what I'm talking about, right? So some of these changes are really pretty neat. So I'm going to go through all of the different changes that they've announced, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I think about them and how you can access them if you're not sure, stuff like that. So hold on. So if you've come into the FamilySearch tree recently, you've probably seen this pop-up screen that announces the new changes. So I'm going to go over each one of these individually. So the first one is actually not really a change, but I wanted to point this out to you. We all can kind of be creatures of habit, and sometimes we want things the way they were. And so they have also made it possible that you can use the previous version. If you see right over here, you can go back to the previous version if that's what you prefer. So I wanted to point that out to you. All right, so the first big change, and it's one that I really like. They've announced that they allow you to see the sources to the side. But at first glance, it's kind of like, I'm not seeing it. So let me show you how to get there. Here's my person, and I'm on the details page, but I'm not seeing the source thing that they're talking about. So let me show you how you need to get there. So you need to scroll down, you need to go past the notes and the latest changes, and you need to go to tools, and you can change your layout settings. But the thing that I really want to point out right here is sources. So if you click on that, then all of a sudden over to the side, kind of in a timeline, you see all of the different sources that have been attached to him. Now, the reason that I think this is really cool is it's one more way to show proof and to kind of help people maybe recognize, hey, maybe I shouldn't be merging this person or changing this person when I don't really know. So anything that they can do to help that, I think a lot of these tools are doing that. So I really like that. So you've got all of your sources right here. You can click on one of them. You can view the source. You can add a tag to it. So like the tags are the things that the source pertains to, and they already have like this 1920 census pertains to his name, his sex, male or female, and his birth, but I can add a tag to it as well if I want to. Just click on that, and then you can add whatever you want. You can even create your own tag, which is pretty nifty. The other thing that I really like about this as a professional genealogist is they have their citation right here, as well as the web link to the page. So I can copy that and put that into a report for somebody if I need to do that. So anyway, liking that new change. Well done, FamilySearch. The other one we actually just talked about is the tagging. They call it improved sourcing. And what that's doing is it's allowing you to tag any particular fact in the tree that you want to tag with the source. So that's going to give you the opportunity, like if it's a relationship, if it's an immigration date, all kinds of different things that you could tag now that will then lead you to that source. And again, always a good thing. The other thing in the tools section that I'm really excited about is your layout settings. If you click on the layout settings, you can either have a double column or you can have a single column, and then you can select the order of the information that you want in each section. So you can have your vitals, your other information, your family members, your other relationships, and your brief life history. I can never talk when I do these videos. Anyway, and they've moved the life history to the bottom, and there are some reasons for that. I'm going to hit that in a minute. But this is their default method, and I actually really like it. But maybe you want to move it around on your page, and you can do that. The next one that I want to talk about that I'm really excited about, because again, it's another one where we can talk about why we believe something is something and try to prevent people from merging people or changing things around when we know it's not true. I'm working on a project for a client right now that the parents are wrong on FamilySearch, and I'm preparing an elaborate report to explain why I know they're wrong, but you got to have people read it, and that's the problem. And you can put something in memories, but maybe they're not going to check there. So I really like this new feature. This is alert notes. And if you go down here to the notes, then you can see that there is a census record note here right now, and I can add a note. I can put a title in this note, and I can say, Alexander Kinsley is not the son of so-and-so, and then I can write in my note why. Now it gives me 10,000 characters, but if I need more space than that, I could put a notation in there, see the memories section for a report on this subject. And then the thing that I really like is I click right up here, alert note, and then that will display that alert at the top of the page to encourage users to read this note before making changes. Yay! Well done, FamilySearch. I'm going to break here for a quick little announcement. Do you need help with your genealogy research? Are you hitting brick walls? Are you totally frustrated? Or do you not know where to begin? I've opened up group and individual coaching sessions via video, and they start at $35. So if you're interested, click the link below down in the description of the video, and you can sign up. See you there. Now, one of the other things that they've added, and it's by default kind of in the bottom down here under family members, they allow you to add another relationship. Now, you might be thinking, what other relationships would I want to add? A lot of times when you're researching a difficult subject, you do have things that you want to add. Let's say you want to add somebody that was a witness to a document, to their will, or a deed. Let's say you want to add neighbors because you're working on your fan network, your friends, associates, neighbors. The other thing that I love about that is it gives you a place, if you are researching an African American ancestor, it gives you a place to put in the enslaver, which is really important when you're researching African Americans, because the reality is the majority of those records pre-Civil War are going to be found underneath the enslaver. And in the past, there was no way to delineate that. So anyway, there's lots of different relationships that you could use. You could put in there a godparent. You could put in an employer. Anyway, the list goes on and on. So love the ability to add other relationships. And now up at the top, they've also added this About tab, and I like that. You can click on About and it will give you some information about that person, a brief life history that they've generated based on the information that was put into the tree, the different facts. Photos and memories, so that you can see those right there. The spouse and children, parents and siblings, as well as a nifty timeline. This is really helpful. Timelines are so important, and it's one of the reasons that I really like Ancestry, because the timeline is built into the facts so nicely. But now FamilySearch has added this here, making this a lot more helpful for people. You can also view that timeline with a map. Now, how cool is that? All right, so I needed to go to a different person to show you the Memories tab. They've made some changes there as well. So when you're on the details page, right up here at the top, you go over here to Memories. And I don't know if you remember, but it used to be where they had a space for photographs, a space for documents, histories, things like that. They divided it into like 3 sections. And now they've just kind of combined it all into one and made them bigger. And I like this. I think this looks really nice. So well done. Okay, they also say that under Other, they've made some additional changes. And Other right here, you can do a detail view, which then gives you more information or not. I think that was there before, but I'm honestly not sure. But they divided it into alternate names, events, and now they have facts that you can add in. So that's something kind of new. And then the last thing that I want to show you is about research help. And he doesn't need any research help, so let me find somebody in the tree that does. All right, so here we have Amos Walter Woodsworth Filer. Isn't that a great name? And what we're talking about here is under research help. And so you see these are research suggestions right here. The last child was born 3 or more years before the mother turned 40. So maybe she had more children. And so I'm going to go to show all, and then you can kind of see it better. So right here would be a spot for data problems, which there aren't any. Right here would be some record hints that they believe would apply to him. But then these research suggestions right here is, again, we have another one. There is a gap of 3 or more years between the birth of one child and the next sibling, which oftentimes they're indicated that maybe there was a child in between. So anyway, that gives you some things to look at. And I like that. I like the fact that they're worded maybe a little bit better for people to look at as they're contemplating additional research they can do. So that's it. So I'm really excited about these new changes. I'm really hoping that people will use them to create a better global tree, and that it makes people's lives a little bit easier. I think my favorites are threefold. One, we can see the sources to the side in that timeline. I like that. Maybe that's just me, but I like it. I like the fact that I can tag them and add that source to multiple facts now, that I have control over that. And then the last one is, and might be the biggest, I like the fact that you can put an alert note in there. And so when you put that alert on there, it's gonna pop it up to the top of the page so that people see that. And love that. I think that's really helpful, particularly when we have situations where people have changed somebody and then somebody who knows changes it back and then they change it again. And you kind of have this push and pull, which drives people nuts. So anyway, those are my three favorites, but I really do love everything as a whole, and I'm excited about that. So if you would like to watch more videos on some of my family search videos, some of the things on how to merge somebody, how to deal with the tree and how to deal with people that have different opinions in the tree, things like that, check out my family search playlist right over here. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel and give it a like. Let me know that you like this content. And if you have any other thoughts about these new features, throw them in the comments. Thanks.